Welcome to another edition of URP Practical Talk. I am your host, Pastor Wendell Jeffrey. Thanks for joining us. We're going to continue the discussion, a little everything, it is, so that you would understand what it is that the URP as a party plans to do. You would also hear what the leader has to say. And what we do is we are getting feedback from you, from when we go out in the streets as we talk. We're hearing stuff, and people are saying, yes, we can't keep doing this. We need a counterbalance. We need a third force. We need somebody to represent the interests of people who are not beholden either to the PNC or the coalition or the PPP. We need bright people. We need objective people. And that's the role we would like to play. So join us. Of course, you can join us on the web also, www.urpguyana.com, or URP Guyana is our Facebook page, and you can join us there. And we also have links to our YouTube page, right? So without any further ado, let me welcome Dr. Bandu again.
Thank you.
How you go?
Pastor.
Everything good?
Very good, very good.
I don't know if you're living in town or you're living in the interior, man. Every time you get a chance, you duck out and you run somewhere. How is it going?
Pastor, going very good. I just came from day before yesterday. I was in Pakenham. The other 2 days I was in Essequibo. Today I was in Berbice. So I'm on the go all the time. Trying to meet with the people, talking to the people, and so forth.
Okay, so you seem to have a concern though, because some of the viewers have been saying, why don't we put up pictures of places that we have gone? And you have an interesting spin to that. What was
well,
what's the spin?
I used to put up pictures before.
Of course.
Anywhere that we go.
Yes.
But I have noticed that the PPP and the APNO, the PNC, had been following my Facebook where I go. And as soon as I would go in there, they go in and try to discourage the people on different things and with the lies and so forth, what they have been saying.
Wow.
So we stopped with the pictures that we had been putting, and telling people where we go and what we are doing and things like that.
Because the viewers are saying, man, you guys seem to have a good time. You have these outreaches you're doing in the extended regions. And they have been asking to see more of those pictures, like you said. Mm-hmm. And so that's interesting.
Well, we will show it in due time. And the next interesting thing that's happening is that what we are doing are forcing the PPP and the APNO and the PNCs to go out there on the street because of what we are doing.
Okay.
What is happening today has never happened in Guyana before on the political cloud.
Okay.
Right? Because we all know that when the political bell rang, then you see all the political parties jumping on the street and say they will do this and make promises and what have you, and going like that. But the URP believes, and we always say this, a political party should not wait for the political bell to ring. A political party is to run around the clock to the people. Go around and see what problem they are facing and try to take their problem and channel it to the right sources so that it can be remedied. But nothing like this has been happening for the 50-odd years. What is happening now never happened before in Guyana. And it is all because of the URP.
So you
right?
The URP,
we're waking them up.
Setting the pace.
Yeah, we are waking them up.
Setting the pace.
Yeah.
And as you're the one providing the leadership. You're the one providing the sacrifice. You're making the sacrifice. And I take it that you are satisfied with the response. That's what keeps you going.
I am very satisfied with the response. Very satisfied. And people have been coming aboard more and more. And I don't want to disclose them as yet.
Okay.
Right? Okay. When I disclose them, a lot of people will fall.
Doc, one of the things that people are concerned about is we are stuck. We are stuck financially. We are stuck by way of vision. We keep going around the miry bush. Talk a little of a picture that you have in your head for Guyana. How you see us getting out of this rut? You're a businessman, you're successful.
Number one, why we are stuck, Pastor, is that because the ego that these leaders have, the ego is so much, and the selfishness and the greed, what they are having, they cannot focus out of that. They're only focusing how they can make money and how they can fill their own pockets. We have seen that in this administration, especially when they came and they get 50%, they raise their salary. We see that. And saying that we raise the salary because we don't want the minister to steal, but then the minister was going there to steal. But I'm sure stealing is still happening, And if you're doing that, well, then tell the smaller man too, I'm going to raise your pay too, and let you have a comfortable life too. But there are so much, if we can be able to focus and love our country and think seriously about our country, that this is our motherland. All of us are all Guyanese. We are one people. As we said, one people, one nation, one destiny. But we are only lip saying it. There's no action. Nobody never show real action towards that.
How you think we could use our agriculture sector? Because you grew up as an agriculturalist.
I grew up in the rice industry.
Yeah. How you think? How is our agriculture sector doing? And what do you think URP? What difference in the agriculture sector? Significant difference with the URP.
Well, let us talk about rice for matter of fact. I think that the rice industry, what we have been doing is wrong. Number one, we have to try to bring down the cost of production and rice. Years ago, we used to have duty-free machinery, equipment, fuel, and so forth, so that we can be able to bring down cost of agriculture, even fertilizer. There's high tax and all these things, what they're putting on. We should bring those things right down, so that we can able to do finished product. We can mill our rice, we can package our rice, and we can able to compete with the market out there. We cannot compete with the real market out there, and there are market out there, for rice. But we are only thinking, okay, we have paddy, let me sell the paddy outside like what they were selling at Venezuela, sell bulk thing outside. No, we do not want to sell bulk.
You want to refine.
We want to refine our
value added.
Value added product.
Value added.
Right.
And you think that the reason that folks are not getting involved in the value added is related to cost?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, it's cost. Because you remember, you have to compete with other places. Like, for instance, I went up the highway the other day, 2 weeks ago, and they pour out their heart to me that they are doing the coal and they are doing lumber. They don't have transportation. I said, URP will try to secure a trailer and a tractor for you guys. Of course, you will pay for it. We're not giving you, but we'll stand the responsibility of the cost and let you start your life.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
They also asked me to look into foreign markets. I'm looking into foreign markets. Today, I got from Europe some market for us to sell them coal.
Okay.
But they have their price. And their price is 49,000 Guyana dollar per ton.
Okay.
But you have to land it at the wharf. So I call up the highway and I said, look, I got a market for your coal, but I didn't tell them what the people are paying. I am asking them now.
How much they sell it for?
They will sell it for. They called me back in the afternoon. They told me $84,000 a ton. Right? But I said, when I was there, we discussed this thing, but you guys, high price that you're charging. And you all told me that you all can sell it for probably $650, $700 a ton. And now you come, but 84. This is why we can't be able to match with the outside market.
Right.
You know?
Right. So
But,
how
but
you go ahead.
technically, technically, well, according to our discussion, it was around that price per ton, but not to take it to the wharf, but take it on the thing.
Retail it.
But they calculate by, you can get overseas market,
so
the price should be better.
The price.
But they fail to understand this will be a regular market.
And because you see, you can't sell wholesale at retail price.
No, you cannot.
No. And these international markets too, they take bulk.
Of course.
You understand? And sometimes even the linden farmers or the linden producers alone might not even be able to meet the quantity.
Right.
I remember that Mexico was asking for 40 ton of sorrel. Dr. Faith Harden and I, we were trying to work it out. She had brought back some sorrel seeds and stuff like that, but we couldn't dry the sorrel in Guyana because we tried to build these some dryers, right? But what happened is that when the temperature dropped, the mildew, man, it knock off the farmers and stuff, and it cost a lot of money. So we were planning to go to Mexico to see how they do it, so that we could get sorrel to them. But of course, Dr. Harden passed, and we never got to it. But bulk, if you're doing the bulk, you don't have to. You can't sell retail if you sell. You can't do wholesale and call resale price. So these are some of the educational things that need to be happening through NARI and so on, providing market, finding market for these people.
But you see, one of the things that, as I said earlier, if you don't try to help these people and cut down the cost, like of transportation and all these things, they will not be able to compete with the outside market, But many of our people have a different mentality. They might go to New York and they see 3 Belanger selling for $1, right? They don't figure now, I got to come back in Guyana and sell 3 Belanger for the same price what New Yorker think. But they fail to understand $1 in the United States and $1 in Guyana dollar you're dealing with. You can't calculate in United States dollar.
Right.
We got to calculate in our dollars, So what we have to educate our people. You can't go down that line.
Correct.
Otherwise, we would not able to compete with the international market. And we need to compete.
We need to compete, and I like what you're doing by way of working with these people, because what is going to happen is that you're going to have to, like the coal, if they're producing coal, you're going to have to meet with several of them. So you can determine how much coal they can produce. Because once you make a contact, and you know that, man, once you make an overseas contact for this thing,
you have to regularly supply.
You have to supply it,
Well, I got a market for them right now.
Right.
Every week they will start with 1 container.
Okay.
Immediately. And they will supply the bags and everything to them.
Right.
Right.
And now, if you can get the Guyana Forestry Corporation to reduce their costs, because there's costs, they have some additional costs that they add per bag of coal, and then you have to get your license and stuff. They have some other costs, and if you can get the forestry to reduce some of those costs, that would also help the farmers.
Yeah.
So,
URP are working, URP are looking at all these measures. That's why we talk about, URP always talk about setting up an international marketing system.
Nice. And
right?
I like to say
and it's not only setting up an international market. You see, an international market system, you can tell your people exactly what to grow. You understand? Because what you have market for. Why would you plant things what you don't have market for? And that's what we have been doing here all the time. Like this government, I went certain place, they tell you all must plant papa. So I asked them the question, will the government buy the papa from you guys? They said they didn't tell us anything about that. No. So how you can tell people to plant something and then you don't have market for it?
And another thing too, one of the reasons that you could buy stuff at reasonable prices in the U.S. is because the Americans the American government subsidized the farmers a lot.
Yeah.
You see, if you, for instance, if the government says to these people with coals, for instance, look, we can reduce your license fees. You don't have to pay us. You don't have to give us anything per bag of coal no more. What we will do is when this thing is sold, then you encourage the people in the back end to produce more rather than trying to get from the front end.
Definitely,
you see what I mean?
definitely.
So the people now are able to operate and invest because they got more capital. But you keep squeezing all these mom and pops and trying to get every little dime. You frustrate the market when you do that.
But you know, in the top level, if you don't have that kind of education, you can't send it to the bottom level. Because at the top level, we're having this problem with because they do not know how to direct the people where to go.
But like you're saying, if you don't spend time with the people, you can't fully understand the people.
No, you can't understand.
You gotta be out there, you gotta spend time with them, you gotta understand.
You know, they got this saying, you know, you have to learn to put your foot in those people's shoes to see how it feels. You know, go and do the things what they are doing. So you got to understand them, you know, and then you can be able to work with them and do things, you know. So it is important for us to educate these people, but first of all, those of us who are in charge have to educate ourselves. Because if we don't educate ourselves, and if we don't think so much of this high money, you know, we ain't going nowhere. Because everybody only thinks here about themselves. As I always say, you know, long ago, my parent taught me, said, look, son, your neighbor is your closest family, although they are not your blood family.
Correct.
Because whenever anything wrong, you're there for them, right? But today, we ain't got that.
We're losing it.
Yes.
Just fight for self.
If the people, you know, Folka come in your yard, you want to kill them. You know, and cool. Simple as that, you know. And this is why I love the Amerindian areas. There's no fence. You can walk through any yard. You feel comfortable. Nobody tells you anything, you know. And you feel so good by doing that. We're living here on the coast. Everyone got their fence. They got the padlock and the gate. They got,
and it's funny because one of the things that is catching on in the United States now, they used to be where you had to build fence. But now the new housing development in the United States, no fence no more. You have to sign in your agreement is that you can't build a fence.
Yeah, the townhouses.
You understand? Yeah. So your communities now don't have fences. Doc, there's a Gaisuku just got a bailout of $2 billion from the current administration, but it's not really a bailout. They had to agree, Gaisuku had to agree that they are going to give up a certain amount of land. So it's really, they get $2 billion, but they have to give up
it's
land.
A sellout.
It's a sell. It's a
not
sell.
A bailout.
Not a bailout.
Sellout.
It's a sellout.
Right?
All right, good. What's your take on that?
Why should we sell out Gaisuku land? Gaisuku already have infrastructure, drainage, canals, and all these things. If Guyana is an agricultural country, what we will do, we'll buy the land out, the government will buy the land out and make it into house lot.
Yeah, that's the plan.
Right?
That's the plan.
This last administration did the same thing. This administration will do the same thing. We have to focus on agriculture. We have the infrastructure there already. We can go somewhere and spend more money building more infrastructure.
Wow.
You understand?
I didn't look at it like that.
When we already have infrastructure.
Yeah, you have the waterways.
We have 83,000 square miles. Why don't we go into the areas that is not developed and give people house lot in those areas and try to develop those areas? Right?
Wow.
Look, the URP say every region must be able to sustain themselves.
Okay.
Right? By having everything. Let us look at Essequibo.
All right.
I just come from there. The Essequibian, whenever they got a little money, they got to come to Georgetown and spend it. Why we don't create industries and different kind of things, just like what Georgetown have in this region, so that they can spend their money and they can able to build their region more and more by spending their money there.
Yeah,
right?
but Doc, when you look at countries that did that, you look at Trinidad, you look at Jamaica, you look at the United States, you look at England and those. What happens is that the government has got to play an integral part. The government had your business money. You decide, okay, I'm going to put a rice packaging plant in Essequibo, for instance. The government is going to have to give you certain tax waivers. You understand? Because you don't have as many people in Essequibo as you have in Georgetown. So what the businessman is more likely to do is invest where he gets a better return on his investment. The government then could say to a businessman, look, we're going to waive you. They do it for they do it for overseas people all the time.
Yeah, but you see, we are not learning. We don't want to learn, right? For instance, let me tell you, in the United States, right? If you got a farming area and you build a house in that farming area, you don't have to pay house tax. It's free. I don't know you know about that. I know about that.
But you're a businessman, yeah.
It allows you build a house on the farm. You're tax free on that house. You don't have. It's a part of encouragement. Same thing you're saying. Of course, government have to encourage businesses, right, to do business. Because when you encourage business to do business, the government, more taxes coming in the cost. No more taxes coming in all the time. Right?
Yeah,
so it is important for government to understand that you can, more you encourage your businesses and more production happen, it's more you get money in your country to run the government. Right?
But to me, the rationale seems to be backward in Guyana. It seems as though it's like you want to kill the goose that laid the golden egg. We know, like you were saying, we don't want to learn. We know what best practices are. We've seen it. You give countries concessions to come into Guyana.
Definitely.
But you don't give the Guyanese the concessions that you give to the overseas people.
That's what I said on one of my programs. I said, this government are not looking at their people seriously. You ought to look at your home first before you look at the other. If you go in their aircraft flying, before they take off, they demonstrate about your seat belt and if anything happened to get oxygen and so forth. And they're telling you, if you have a child next to you, make sure you put on your seat belt and your oxygen, right? So that then you can able to help the child. Because if you don't help yourself and you try to look after your child and you pass away, well, then your child will pass away too, because you can't probably finish with her. So this is what this government has to learn, right? They have to look at their people first, make their people comfortable, and then you try to make others comfortable. Look into your own home before you look into the neighborhood.
But I wouldn't be surprised, Doc, because it is undisputed that you are a successful businessman. So I'm not surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if a number of the things that you are suggesting on these programs as we go from week to week, I wouldn't be surprised if it becomes part of the manifesto for the other parties.
That's okay.
You understand?
I have no problem. We don't have nothing to hide. But people know it's a URP talking about these things, right? URP been talking about giving these people title for land all the time. Now you hear they're talking about they're going to give the title. It was URP talking about it and try to open their eyes to do something, But if they want to take the credit, it's fine. But if Guyana go forward, if that make Guyana go forward, so be it.
I like your approach. That you're magnanimous. Right? You're not nitpicking. Whatever the benefit, when you were opposed to the PNC, you work with Chedi through the Coalition for
Democracy, yes.
Coalition for Democracy,
Yes.
and you removed.
Yep.
And when the PPP acted, you removed the PPP.
Yeah.
So you were not about you. You were about you. You
No.
were very patriotic, and I think that is very. That's very
Let me
healthy.
tell you something. I just arrived yesterday at my home, and I got a phone call, and the guy said, I don't want to call his name. He said, I'll leave a message on your phone. And I said, yes, and what is it about? He said, man, we are putting together, we are Indian coming together and say what the Indian would like to have in Guyana. I said, first of all, before you go forward, I said, look, I am not for Indian. I am an Indian. But I'm not only for Indian. I'm for the Guyanese people.
Beautiful.
Right? I'm in politics. I'm looking at everybody, not only Indian. Right?
Wow.
And I don't want to be a part of a structure only what Indian want.
Okay.
You understand? So he said, man, never mind, we can still meet and talk.
Okay.
And I said, well, what we'll talk about? So they said they want to put something, and they sent letter to Granger, and Granger answering them and so forth. And they want to tell Granger what the Indian want to do. I said, well, I know Granger and his administration already, what they are doing, right? They wouldn't listen to what you're saying. They will do what they feel to do. Because you see it, anytime they do anything in this country, and you oppose them, they still go ahead and do it. They wouldn't stop. So, and I told him right away, and there and then, look, I don't want to be a part of you guys. I believe in the people, in serving Guyana. I believe in it. You know? Look, yesterday I had a debate for 2.5 hours in Wakanam.
Wow.
Right? With some people from big businessmen.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, when I finish with him, every question he asked me, I answered.
Wow.
And you know, he said, look, I need to have a picture with you. I take a picture with him. And he said, you have me. I will support you. That this is the kind of party I'm looking for.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
every home actually in Wakanam yesterday actually endorsed us.
Wow.
Where we went to. Not one. Oh, yeah, one place I stopped, there was a mechanic shop. And he said, all them politicians are crook.
Well, you say that.
Right?
Yes,
I said, I'm not blaming you for saying that.
Of course not.
But you must examine
You got
the
to.
politician what you're talking
You
about.
got to.
You know?
You got
Not only say they're crook. We know all who was there are a crook. Because only 2 of them was there all the time.
Oh.
You know?
Right.
So
Okay,
they are
okay,
crooks.
good.
But you can't point your
You
finger
can't
to
put
me.
You can't lump everybody.
Because I was never there.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
So, you know, there are so many things, and there are so many people who are so dissatisfied with what has happened all over. Look, Jack Dale went to Linden a couple of days ago. Granger went before. Jack Dale went after. They got a ding-dong in Linden. And you know what the result was? We'll support the third force. That's what the people is calling on. Us to support the URP. Right?
It's not a we coming up to the time. It's not what we are saying making sense again, but it's just difficult. People are like, we know nobody else. You know, for 50 years, all we know are these 2 guys or these 2 girls, however you want to call these major political alignment. We know nobody else. So the frightened, even when you had the AFC wasn't a pure party. The AFC was made up of dissonance from the PNC and dissonance on the PPP. It was people who were mad with the parties. It wasn't pure people coming out of the blues.
People are not educated enough to understand this, because I always use this authority. If you plant a mango tree and you grow in mango, everything that comes from that mango tree root will belong to Mango, you know. So Ramjatan and Moses was from the PPP route, and Trackman was from the PNC route. There's no difference. Who tell you? Anyone who thinks it will be a difference, they're crazy. People are not thinking. And this is why the URP are trying to educate people.
Well, Doc, I must tell you
right?
that I'm one of those who crazy, because I honestly believed that in supporting the coalition administration and the AFC and this coalition administration, I honestly believe that a change would have come. I was one.
Well,
of the
lots of people do believe that. Lots of people do.
All the time.
Yeah.
Be out the time.
Yeah.
Doc.
All right.
All right.
You know, we thank them.
Thank you so much for joining us. We completely out of time. You see what happened how time flies? Yeah. URPGuyana.com is our website. At our YouTube page and our Facebook page. And you can meet us on the web, www.urpguyana.com. Thanks for joining us. Same time, same station next week. Bye-bye. God bless you real good.